Boxing now, nicknamed Kid Chocolate, Peter Quillin is a former WBO Middleweight champion. Quillin held the championship belt between 2012 and 2014. The 35-year-old boasting a record of 34 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw and 1 no contest from 37 fights. Peter joins us on set along with boxing promoter Ronson Frank from Uprising Promotions to talk some big news on the fight game. Gentlemen, welcome to Jamaica. Not first time here in the country, but it's great to have you on. Let's start with you, Ronson, because we understand that there may be a major event coming up in Jamaica in the next couple of months. What can you tell us about it?
We're actually here to finalize a massive event. It's centered around the Gloves Over Guns program that was initiated by the Jamaican Boxing Council. So we've been working hand in hand from the show that we did last year to this point and helping to, build up that program and, stop the inner city violence. So the show that we're doing is premised around that now. So as the headline, we have a WBA international heavyweight title fight as the main event, and we're working now on figuring out what we're going to have as the undercard.
Right. And this bout is likely to happen in Kingston, in the capital?
Yes.
All right. Peter, what brings you here? I know you're pretty close to Ronson and you're a part of a lot of what he does, but what brings you here? And might you be a part of that card as well?
Well, I'm always part of my brother and what he does, and I think the most important part, me being here is like gaining experience on the level of how he's been doing and conducting himself in business as a participant in still boxing, being in a council of guys who's like, doing things on their own and learning things. So it's always something to learn, especially about Kingston, Jamaica. I want to come here to learn about the culture and, hopefully bring some awareness to some of the fighters who fighting with stories from here.
Yeah, given some of what Ronson just spoke about regarding the inner city youth and trying to use boxing as one of the tools to lift people from the path of crime and violence, what would you say from an American standpoint, which is where you're from, boxing has been able to do from that standpoint in the USA?
Well, I think it took, struggling stories and made championship stories out of them. I think, that's transcended everywhere we go. It's like everybody is fighting with something. And, to be able to have an opportunity in America to be able to showcase, a talent is very large, especially from a family who, I'm from a family. Remember, my dad is from Cuba, born and raised, so, to come to a country where it's opportunity, and he didn't get to see the opportunity himself, but he's seen it through me, so I think it's very important. So that's why I try to go out there and rally to, come up with these good stories and good storylines that, can captivate the people and bring awareness to the places they're fighting from.
Yeah, there's a proliferation of these stories in the boxing game. Of course, Mike Tyson would be one of the best exponents of that story from a youngster of crime. In his young teens, he had gotten into trouble with the law, Mike Tyson, at 12, 13 years old, and we all know where the fight game took him. He had some problems when he became champion as well, but it certainly was a conduit for Mike Tyson, the boxing game, to make a huge life out of his career as a boxer, and in fact making over $100 million. Ronson, you were here last year with Evander Holyfield. Yes. Talk to us quickly about Uprising Promotions and how this promoting company has been able to make a mark in the fight game in the US and beyond.
Well, Uprising Promotion is doing well now because I think my hard work that I put into it, my belief and faith, and I have a talent because I come from a boxing family, and I have an eye for talent. And the guys that's overseen and forgotten about, those are the ones that I seek out and notice if I can fix a few things here or there, they can become very good fighters. All guys need is a break. Some of the fighters earlier in their career, they're put into tough situations just to make money and end up taking losses, and then they're thrown to the side. So those are the kind of guys that I seek out, evaluate them properly, see if they have the talent or the motivation, and get them into the right hands as far as the right trainer, and put all my resources behind them and push them once they have the right attitude.
Yeah, and of course, selecting the right fights for them as well, because sometimes you say sometimes as young upcoming boxers, they bite off more than they can chew, and then with a couple of L's on their log, it sets them back significantly.
Yes.
Peter, you were a middleweight champion. You're now moved up to the super middleweight division. You hardly box. I see you boxed once already this year, but you only boxed once in 2018. I think you only boxed once in 2017 as well. Can you talk to us about where your career is at and what you're expecting over the next couple of months?
Well, I'm looking to get back in the ring around August. That's what we're hoping that we can score a fight. But most importantly, this is my job, and my job is to always be ready. So, I'm taking a little bit of time off because I was in a, very hard camp, and then I end up having a daughter at the end of the camp, so I never get to spend the time I wanted with my family. But right now, we're just gearing up to just go out there and showcase the talent, give a last little stretch. I'm older now, I'm more experienced, but most importantly, I want to go and accomplish different things and, out the ring that I think is very important to bring awareness to. So right now, I'm just taking it day by day, round by round, just like in any fight, you got to take it punch by punch.
Yeah. A couple of years ago, you had a loss on your log to Daniel Jacobs, who recently lost to Canelo Alvarez, the outstanding Mexican. What do you think of Jacobs, and did you expect him to lose to Canelo? It was a close fight. I think a couple of the judges had just maybe a 2-point difference between them.
I think most importantly, I think Danny Jacobs has one of the best comeback stories in boxing. Overcoming cancer, at a time right now where, social media is very big. You can bring awareness to, how many people, suffer with cancer. I had an uncle who passed away of cancer. I know it's deliberating, very just take away from it. And, I think, stories like that, we need it. But I was rooting for him in the fight with Canelo because, to see him come so far and, make it to that point, it was well to see it. But most importantly, we looking to come back and, I heard he's moving up into super middleweight weight class. Maybe we can give a rematch and I can revenge my loss.
Yeah. A couple of Caribbean boxers I want you to give a quick opinion on. Lennox Too Sharp Allen, he's a Guyanese, undefeated, currently a super middleweight, ranked among the top, I think, in the WBA at the moment. He's probably about 4 in the WBC, but you are ranked 4 and 6 in 2 of those divisions. What are your thoughts on him? Have you seen him box? He's based in New York, isn't he?
Yes, him is part of the same crew.
Yeah.
We've been
good. Yeah. It's a southpaw, is he?
Yeah, southpaw, very slick and very hungry. Had a similar story coming to America, making an opportunity for herself. I just had to recently tell him because when I became the champion, through the grapevine, me and him was stablemates before. It was thought that maybe he needed to take an opportunity to fight me. And I was like, Alan, I think altogether, since we got so much history, I would never fight you. So I'm just letting you know, as a person that's rallying to be a champion, I think I don't want to, try to ruin the plans for that. Yeah. So,
Turiana Johnson is a Bahamian who has been on the cusp of world title opportunities. Derevianchenko, the Ukrainian boxer.
I sparred him as well.
You sparred with him?
Yeah, I sparred. I'm an experienced pro. All these guys, like Sergey, he helped me for the last fight. I helped him with his last fight. Now he's like #1 contender for the Canelo belt. We just got so much. In the pool of boxing, it's just like, everybody got these stories and, it's like, now I'm at the point it's like whenever I have the opportunity faced against me, I know it's an opportunity meant for me. I have to see if it's God dwelling there, or if it's like the evil forces dwelling there.
Ronson, you arrived here Wednesday night. You're in this negotiations now with local boxing promoters and the local boxing board. You say something big is coming up for the country. It's very rare that the Caribbean has an opportunity to see a major boxing, world title contender level boxing in the heavyweight division. We have had several in the past, middleweights, junior middleweights, and so on. But this could be a very, very big one for the Caribbean, wouldn't it be, if you land this bout here in Kingston? Yeah,
definitely. I think it's a great opportunity for the local people to be a part of a magnificent event. It's actually a free event. We're supposed to be doing it in Trenchtown. Everyone from Trenchtown is invited to come down for free. We're going to host some seminars in and around the neighborhood with some of the fighters. Try to bring them in early. Maybe Pete is available. He'll come do a little workout or seminar with the kids there and just show them a better way, of living. And with hard work, they can have opportunities to be in the same kind of position. So overall, for the card itself. We have Vladimir Tereskin. He's from Russia. He's 20-0, 6'6", 260 pounds.
Wow.
And he'll be taking on a tough opponent with only 3 losses in his 20 fights. So it's going to be a good matchup, and they're fighting for the WBA Feder Latin title. So the winner of that will be leaving here with a top 10 ranking in the world. So
that will be tremendous. We had a discussion in the office just a couple of days ago about the state of boxing and the prospects of a revival of the heavyweight division. Your boxer that you're bringing to Kingston here, 20-0 at the moment, certainly on the fringes. Yeah. But with Joshua Wilder and Tyson Fury, we think that the heavyweight, as it now stands, is more appealing and attractive than we have seen it in years.
I would definitely agree with you. This is like the time where, you know, at one time the heavyweight division used to hold up all the rest of the boxers. And now we got so many different weight classes that people are fans of. But the heavyweight is just a classic weight class. And I think, you know, that had to be revived. And I think it's doing it right now. And then we got so many great fighters. I feel like at a time we had a lot of our heavyweight boxers going to other sports, basketball, football, but now they're coming back to, you know, participate in boxing.
Yeah, WBC champion Deontay Wilder was at ringside for the Brooklyn bout that you had with Daniel Jacobs a couple of years ago. How do you rate him, and do you think he is the best heavyweight of the three at the moment?
He's a very special guy. He's a personal friend of mine. And I think the most important thing is when you can't be explained. They can't explain why he's so good. He's not got the most talent, but he got, sometimes we look to see the most power. And, you know, that's what makes guys special. And I think he's holding up the weight class pretty good. He's our American heavyweight, and, you know, I support him.
Yeah, and finally, Ronson, when we were looking ahead to the fight that he had last weekend, Wilder, I was suggesting to some friends here in the office that if Wilder hits you properly, you're going to fall. That's just how strong and powerful he is. Tall, wiry, at 223 pounds, he's pretty slim for a 6'7" man, but he certainly hits hard, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. I mean, anyone that weight and carry the leverage from his height, but punching is leverage, so he knows how to use his leverage. But getting back to my guy, I think he's ready for those kind of matches. He's not afraid of him. He's not afraid of anyone in the top heavyweight division, and he's their size as well. So
6'6" he is.
6'6",
so
260
he's originally from Russia, but
yes.
Is he based in the U.S. now?
He's based in the U.S. now.
He trains there.
He trains there.
And his name again?
Vladimir Tereskin.
Vladimir Tereskin.
Yes.
20-0.
20-0.
How many knockouts?
He has 11 knockouts. Extensive amateur background. He has 225 amateur fights, 200 wins. He was part of the Russian national team, so he's well experienced, and he's ready for the Wilders and Joshuas of the world. So we're gonna take it a step first, come and show you guys and what he can do here in a couple of weeks, and we're gonna look to see what happens after.
So at the end of it all, the Caribbean can see that we were a part of seeing a star being born.
Yes.
Because Tereskin is going to be a big one. Peter Quillin, Ronson, Frank joining us here on the SportsMax Zone, looking ahead to a major event that is coming up in the Caribbean, Kingston, Jamaica, in not too distant future, but the negotiations are still going on, and we are expecting an announcement to be made pretty soon. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us on the Zone.
My pleasure.